this is the lie that people are saying, where they're humanizing God. Either they're humanizing God in the name of Christianity, or they're humanizing God in the name of Judaism, as a result of learning from Manis Friedman and his friends, Y.Y. Jacobson, his brother or his father, I'm not really sure which one he is, his student Yoel, and some of the guys from Or Sameach, all of these people that are preaching this God needs you thing. If you've noticed, they have yet to bring a single source from the Torah. The closest we got was one of the rabbis said, yes, there's many sources. You can look in the Ben Ish Chai, you can look at the Zohar, you can look at the Tanakh. What? That's like me saying, yeah, there are plenty of people. You can look in Arkansas, you can look in Tennessee, you can look at New York, the state, not the city. Like, what does that mean? Stating the Ben Ish Chai, it's like stating a world. Stating the Zohar is stating a world. What does that mean? In the world of Judaism, sources have a page number, have a siman, have a line, have words. But that was the closest we got to a source. Second closest, a video called You Want a Source? By the little pet that calls himself the #1 fan of Menace. He called the video, you want a source? I'll give you a source. 5, 10, 20 minutes of waste of life words. Source does not exist. Nothing. Why? He says the whole Torah is a source. Because it makes sense. Show me one sage throughout 3,334 years of Judaism that made such a statement, that the whole Torah is a source. That you don't need to bring a page number. You don't bring a chacham. You don't bring anything. No one. Even when he questions, he doesn't realize that he is burying himself a hole. Where he says to the master liar, Menace. So this is a Chabad type of teachings, right? No. Oh, so the source, with the source, there is no source. The minute you bring a source, he says, with complete confidence of this lie, the minute you bring a source in Judaism, it can be debated. And anything that's debatable, it's worth nothing. As if the way to make it true is to make it sourceless, which is literally the opposite of the foundation of the Torah. As we know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Torah to Moshe. Moshe to Yoshua ben Nun, Yoshua ben Nun to the Skenim, to the elders to the prophets to the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. And they taught, this is the first Mishnah in Masechet Avot. No. But in the world of this imaginary Chassidut, if you have a source, it's worthless. Interestingly enough, instead of the leaders of Chabad, which is the Chassidut they claim to represent, rebuking them and telling them, stop destroying the Chassidut, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, all of them, all of the Rebbes of Chabad, for the 7 of them, each one of them brought endless sources. In the Tanya, every page has sources. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is Sichot full of sources. But now all of a sudden we don't need sources. Now all of a sudden this is sourceless truth for the first time since the beginning of time. Now we've brought sources. And I keep telling you that there's no end to the sources, because to prove the truth is easy. They say God needs you. They say that the mitzvot, since he created the mitzvot, since he is the mitzvot according to them, and we need to do the mitzvot for him, therefore he needs it. We've proven it time and time again, there's no such thing as God needing anything, but for the sake of continuing to give you more and more sources to add to the arsenal of sources we've provided thus far, we'll bring you another one. Midrash Rabbah, Parashat Vayikra, Parashat Dalet, Ot Bet. Midrash Vayikra, the Parasha of Vayikra, Leviticus, the fourth section, second Parasha, number 2. It says the following. It's talking about a verse that a person will sin unintentionally. For among all of the commandments of Hashem, what happens with him? So it says, in regards to this verse of the nefesh that will sin, there's a teaching about it. In essence, there's a teaching about someone that sins. What is this teaching? This verse is supportive of that which is stated in a different place by Shlomo HaMelech, Ecclesiastes chapter 6 verse 7, which says, all man's toil is for his mouth, yet the soul is never satisfied. That's what the verse says. So what is all of man's toil is for his mouth, yet the soul is never satisfied? Rav Shmuel Bar Ami says, the beginning of this verse may be interpreted to mean all that a man's accumulated over his lifetime in terms of mitzvot and good deeds is insufficient remuneration for the breath that leaves the man's mouth. In so many words, the sages say clearly, all of the Shabbat that you keep, all of the tefillin that you put on, all of the mikveh that you go to, all of the Torah that you learn, all of the kosher food that you eat, all of the tzedakah that you give, all of what you do is not enough to even pay for a single breath that you breathe, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you. This is not to say that your mitzvahs are worthless. Certainly they're worth something, but for you to get a reward in heaven, for you to have a good life, for you to, in essence, earn your right to exist in this world. But it's certainly not enough to justify a single breath that he gave you before you did any of it, and a single breath that you did even after you did all of it. Because all of it is for your benefit, not for him. Then the Midrash says further. The latter part of this verse says, V'gam nefesh lo titmaleh. That even the soul's extraction does not fill the hole. What does it mean? First, we learn that the soul is never satisfied. The soul is never satisfied. Why? Because all the toil that a person does in this world, all the mitzvot, all the chesed, everything, the soul says, listen, it's still not enough to justify my existence. Do more, do more. Why? I don't know when God's going to take it back. It's in reality, I'm still in debt. The rest of the verse, Shlomo HaMelech says, what about the soul when it leaves? The extraction of the soul? It says the soul's extraction does not fill the hole. What is this talking about? The Midrash elaborates. How is the extraction of the soul from the body at death? Rabbi Berachia and Rabbi Kartzifa say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, like ropes that exit a round hole. Rabbi Chanina says, like knotted rope that exits from a round hole. Shmuel says, like a thorn, moist and reversed, that exits from a round hole. In so many words, the chibut kever, when the soul leaves the body, it's painful. It's painful. So to sum it all up, we understand all the mitzvot that we do are for us. Everything we do is for us. God doesn't benefit a single thing from us. In fact, if we don't do good, our end begins with pain. of chibut kever, of dying. Now, if someone wants to argue, yeah, but what about if he was a tzaddik? What about if he was a tzaddik? Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzchak says, all of that man accumulated over his lifetime in terms of mitzvot and good deeds serves to provide for his mouth, but not for his son's mouth and not for his daughter's mouth. Meaning, okay, so he was righteous. Okay, so he justified his existence. But who says he's justifying his kid's existence? Hashem gave you kids. Did you pay for it? He gave you a daughter, gave you a son, gave you multiple daughters and sons. Did you pay for it? Well, I didn't ask for it. That's what the heretics say. I didn't ask to be here. Here we see, Rabotai Karim, literally the words of the sages are shouting at our generation that's full of lies, telling you God needs you. Anyone that believes such a thing is not only going to end up in the worst possible place that they can't even imagine, but they're going to live a lie. And living a lie creates a lot of damage. Living a lie is one of the things that David HaMelech hated more than anything else, and he simply could not take it.